Hello.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good
So
morning.
lucky
Good morning.
this day to have a mother and daughter who not only have written haikus together, they've written a book about it. And it's called yes, thank you, Carole. It's Mother and Daughter's Haiku Journey. You Can Do Haiku Too by Jessie Stokes, mother, and Dr. Carole Stokes-Brewer, daughter. And the book came out in 2019. It was published in 2019, and you can get it on Amazon.com.
Mhm.
And I have a copy of the book. I was fortunate enough to get it last year, and it's just lovely.
Thank you.
You all did a really interesting thing where you would pick a subject and you would write about it from mother's perspective and daughters and generational perspectives too. So I guess I want to ask, why haiku? Why did you all do haiku? And what has it meant to your lives?
Well, haiku to me is very peaceful. I'm never lonely as long as I have a pen and paper where I can copy down my thoughts, or if someone says something, I can gain something from what they say, and it ends up in a haiku. I wrote a poem once, and it was called True Blue, and it came from Carole wearing a pretty blue blouse, and everybody was exclaiming over it. And my uncle said, "True blue is genuine." And I've always thought of that. So back to haiku. It's just a peaceful feeling, just creating those 3 lines to me.
Okay.
And I introduced haiku to Carole, and that's how it got started.
That's wonderful. Carole, how about you?
Well, like my mother said, she introduced haiku to me, and anything my mother says, of course, I have to do. It actually turned out to be fun because she would write a line and email it to me back in the day when we emailed. And I would email a line back, and then she would email a line back. And so we started that way. Then my mother learned how to text. So she would text me a line, and I would text a line back, and she would text a line back to me. And at that time, I think she was 80 years old then, when she asked me to be her friend on Facebook. I wasn't even on Facebook. And how could you say no to your mom? So we have really enjoyed the connection of being able to figure out 5 lines, 7 lines, and 5 lines together to give it some meaning, some meaning for us.
Well, how has this helped you know each other? And how has it helped you learn more about yourselves? Jessie?
Well, I don't know, Carole and I have always had a special bond. Her first year at college, when she attended Tuskegee University, sometimes while she was away, sometimes I would hear this voice saying, "Mama, Mama." And then I told her about it when she came home. And she said, sometimes I could hear a voice say, "Carole, Carole." And we've just had a special bond together all these years.
And you did it through poetry too.
Yes.
Sort of an extension of that. Carole,
Right.
how about you?
For me, it's been a bond. It's been fun. It's helped me kind of figure out things. It's helped me to reduce the clutter when I have to make things simple and make things clear, and then develop a twist at the end to make it interesting. So it really has been fun to do. It's been more fun when my mother has a certain point in mind for a poem and I twist it in a way that she won't like and you see her get all upset. That's fun too.
That's wonderful. Well, it sounds like for both of you that it's more than creative expression. It's maybe a way of addressing your soul and addressing what's going on in your life at the time, and in more than language. That it's a thought process, and it's maybe a centering or a prioritizing. That does that make any sense?
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's stress, it reduces stress, I believe. And it's also a way, I think, for both of us to be able to critique each other's work in a way that I think is helpful and soul fulfilling or growth from waiting to hear what my mother says or thinks about a poem or haiku that I wrote.
Yeah. Well, in your book, you had different chapters. There were street scenes, there were back in the day, there were memories of childhood, there were expressions of concern about modern life. 2020 has offered a veritable buffet of things to consider, to write about, to be concerned about. Do you have any idea what you're going to write about this year for this collection of haikus that I hope you'll submit some for?
Well, I don't know about haiku. It's just whenever somebody says something or if I get an idea in my head, it's surprising how long it takes me to just write those 3 lines.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on one this morning, if you would like to hear it.
I would love to. Thank you.
Okay. 2020, year of the great pandemic, year of rat also.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that.
And the second one I wrote is Welcome 21. I'm I can't read my own writing.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
I'll show you the smile I hide behind the dread mask.
That's really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carole, how about you?
I wrote some too, and it's when I get started writing, I just keep generating more and more. So sometimes it's hard for me to find the one that I like the best. So I have 2, and I have one that's been critiqued, but I like it anyway. So I'll read you that one first.
Thank you.
Okay, it's nobody gets it, but I do. Like rainbow colors, strokes of paint brighten the states. Red states turn purple.
I think that's terrific. We're seeing that happen. So, well,
You get it.
yes,
Thank you, Pam. You get it.
well, thank you. I thought it was very powerful. Well, I want to sort of end where we began with Jessie. Oh, Carole, did you have another one you wanted to
I
share?
do.
Okay, good.
This is the one that my mother liked. God looked upon them, drowning in an angry sea. The struggle brings strength.
Okay, that's very hopeful. That
Yeah,
really,
right.
both of them are hopeful, very
Yeah.
hopeful. I kind of want to end where we began. And Jessie was talking about how she's never lonely as long as she has a pen and a piece of paper. And this has been a really hard year. I mean, for lots of people, everybody, I would imagine, a lot of isolation, a lot of distancing. But Jessie reminds us, and Carole, you do too, that as long as you can express your humanity, and I think that's what you do in haikus, then you're not alone, and you are connected, if not to another person, to the world around you. And that is such a great reminder. And I want to thank you both for doing that with your book and with your relationship and sharing it with us here today. Just terrific. And you made my day. So
Great.
thank you all so much.
You made our day too. Thank
Thank,
you.
Thank
thank you,
Take
Pam.
care and
And
peace.
you're the one that started us on this journey.
Well, I think you all
You're the
did
one that started us
You
on
did
the
a
journey.
great job by yourselves. So thank you all so much. Great to see you.
Okay. Thank
Take
you,
care.
Pam.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.